Hello, WCW, and welcome to the Season 7 Week 1 recap. With me this week, we've got a change of lineup. We've got the Iron Master. Welcome,
Hey,
sir.
everybody. Apparently, I'm a new celebrity here.
Absolutely. One of my favorite people to watch stream. Always entertaining. And plays a lot of Norse, I've seen.
Just a tad, you know. I got taught how to play them, and then I was like, how do you stop playing them?
Right.
Haven't learned that bit yet, but we'll get there.
I'm going to have to start playing Norse at some point. They just seem like a ton of fun.
Oh, for certain.
All right, diving into it. First up this week, we've got Weiss, and we're looking at the leaderboard here. Four-way tie up top, which is the Skaven Lords of Obey with Callisti's team getting the number one spot a little bit by default. We'll touch on that briefly. Doof with Kimry taking the win. Fresh Kimry is always exciting to get the W on.
Mm-hmm.
Followed by another Skaven team. This division has a little bit of a rat infestation. Nillyman with his celeb rats taking the W. And then some Dark Elves getting in there. So we did have one individual drop out of this division. So we did pick up a new team. And we will talk about them briefly after we cover the leaderboard. So this first match, this was Callisti Mize. It was a admin forfeit due to the dropped player. Then we have the Celeb Rats versus Chaos Murder Party. Take a look and see what we've got here. 51 blocks versus 33. It sounds like the Chaos Murder Party was doing what they could.
And it does seem they have a Minotaur, so they really went for the murder. Skaven's just always a hard one for Chaos since they have the dodge start.
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
Early on, Skaven has skills. Who knew?
Mm-hmm.
But it looks like they did what they could. 51 blocks, 5 KOs, 2 injuries, and Skaven getting in there a little bit too. 33 blocks, 3 injuries, doing some work. But Skaven taking the 2-1 win. Wonder if there was a 1-turn involved there, or I'd have to go back and take a look at that one.
I feel it was a straight up 2-0 or 2-1.
2-1, yeah. Just force the score and get another one in there.
Yep.
Probably the more likely result.
Just solid Blood Bowl stuff.
Yep. Alphabet Zors versus She's a Bad Witch. What do we got going on here? Some Dark Elves occupying the ball on their opponent's half 31% of the time.
Oh, I see what's happening here. We got a lot of removals for She's a Bad Witch against the Underworld here.
Yep. 2 KOs.
So, probably tons of goblins going off.
Yep.
And just not being able to dish it back out.
Does it list serfs here whenever there's serfs?
Serfs are in a different statistic, but I'm not seeing them.
Yep, so no serfs. Those are all just straight up, they broke the armor on the goblins, so they were rolling some POWs. Or I guess some both downs with those blitzers.
That's for sure.
But, yeah, taking the 1-0 victory. And then we've got Human Foosball versus Behold the Kickman. And Behold the Kickman, 2-1 for Kimry. And an MVP Tomb Guardian. Love to see that.
Yep. Now, it's interesting to see because, Kimry are usually just the one score and that's it. So that means, like, the humans had to score quick or something, or just the Kimry somehow turned them over somewhere.
Yeah, that would be interesting to take a look into. I know Doof is a very good coach, so possibly could have got the turnover in there. It'd be interesting to see. But with the 2-1, I'm suspecting he forced a score, and then and was able to march down the field in 4 or 5 turns, depending on what it was.
Yeah. Next thing to look at there is just Behold the Kickman got way more blocks, but 1 KO. So it's not like the humans were getting out removed by anything.
Oh, no.
And Human Foosball was dishing out the pain. And I'm just going to do a quick check on regen, which was 3 for 3 that match. So really nothing happened.
Yeah.
Besides scoring.
Let's take a peek at the teams. Doesn't look like there's a ton of development. We have a pending level up for the Callisti Mice Skaven. Human Foosball, this team already had a few games, so I don't think there was a ton of development there either. So this was actually a semi-developed They have some block and some tackle. Tackle not doing them any good in this matchup. But
Okay.
anything new on the Kimry? Nope. No skills picked up. Just several people getting ready to skill up.
Yep. Let's take a look at the new team in this division and show everyone it.
Yeah, absolutely. So the new team is Caloric with the XCOM Death Squad, which you would think would be a scary team, but no, we've got some more elves.
Well, you see, the XCOM Death Squad's the one that's dying, so they're gonna miss all their like 98% shots, and then just they lose their life for it.
Right. So
Except it's gonna be 97% because we can't get that high in Blood Bowl.
So I played in Rebel last season with Caloric, and he played Bretonians over there. Still playing Bretonians this season, and made a good run in our division with it. So I know he's capable of doing some elfy things because he had 3 Agi 4 blitzers on his Bretonian team that he knows how to pass that ball.
I believe he's going 6-0-1 there. So he's
there
definitely still keeping it up with the Bretts, and it seems like elves are still going to be his style.
Yep.
So we just have to see.
Absolutely.
He's got Nerves of Steel now.
Got Nerves of Steel. Got Catch. What else do you need? Pass and catch and Agi 4. He can do it all. But yeah, so this coming up week on, take a quick peek at that. And I was planning on doing predictions. Chaos Murder Party versus the XCOM Death Squad. Do you want to take a stab at that and see?
I want to take the stab, and I'm going to go with a Velociraptor here with the Chaos Murder Party.
Yep.
Just because, this is destiny just telling us we got a murder party after the XCOM Death Squad.
We got a murder party and a death squad.
It was meant to be.
Yeah. I think that is an excellent meme pick. I think the Death Squad elves versus early Chaos elves are going to go for it. That'd be my pick.
See, I've just played enough pro elves to know that you easily do get knocked down since you don't have start dodge, and
Right.
hard to get around strength 4 people, let alone the big guy.
This is true.
So it's gonna be fun. That's the one to look out for.
Lords of Obey versus Alphabet Source. So that is Scambammer's Underworld versus Callisti's
Khaleesi
Skaven. What do you think there? That'll be a fun match to watch. Those are 2 entertaining coaches. So
Okay, I'm definitely rooting for Yup or Scambammer.
Yep.
With the Alphabet Source, just because I love some Underworld.
Yep.
And I just want to see him win.
I don't know who to root for because I don't like rats, especially after my just recent experience here. But I'm going to go with Yup too.
Yep. Also, I think Khaleesi Maya needs to find another team that's not Skaven.
Yep, for sure. And then we've got Celeb Rats versus Human Foosball. So rats versus humans.
I'm going to go with the Celeb Rats, I just think that they're going to be really strong in this matchup. And it's kind of hard for the humans to deal with it.
The humans have a tackle piece, though.
Ooh, that does change it up a bit then.
Yep.
Take a quick look at them. They got tackle, they got guard, they got more block. Even accurate. I'm still going to keep it with the Celeb Rats, though. I think Nilliman can do it.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure
Plus, he's got a Roger. What's he going to do against it?
hit the Roger with the Ogre. That's Roger on Ogre action. Yep.
That sounds like something that you want to see.
Yeah, absolutely. That'll be a fun one. Is it? I haven't looked at Skaven too closely. Is it normal to have the 3 gutter start, or is there something different going on there?
Usually the Rat Ogre is all the difference. So you can start with everything with the no Roger start, and even have your Apothecary.
Right.
And that's generally seen as the most popular. But Roger is really powerful early on, but he'll eat your SVP. Is what's
right. Yeah, you can.
Common sense behind it.
You can see the Roger has already picked up the 1 skill for the team, picking up Juggernaut. So that is. But that's a good skill.
Personally, I think the Roger starts stronger to start, but just doesn't do as well later on.
Yep, falls off a little bit as it goes on.
But then you toss it and you're fine.
Yep. Well, then we've got She's a Bad Witch versus Behold the Kitchman. So the Kickman. So we've got Kimry and Dark Elves. What do you think there?
My heart says the Khemri, but I just know Dark Elves are kind of a bit better in the matchup since just Khemri are not able to deal with Elves too well.
Dark Elves are very strong early on too. But yeah, early on, Khemri doesn't have very many skills, and you just run around the giant Tomb Guardians. But
once you pass them, you're past their defense, really.
Yep. But Doof did pull it off versus this human team, so he's shown that he's got the chops to do it if anyone can.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I'd go with Dark Elves on that one as well. But Doof, I'm rooting for you in my heart.
Yeah, Khemri are so fun.
Yep, they are. All right. I think that about wraps it up for the Weiss division. Any other thoughts there?
Well, I just want to see how their next week goes,
Yeah, absolutely.
See what they can pull.
Well, then let's take a
Khemri,
look.
Even though I didn't bet on them.
Let's take a look at the Nelson leaderboard. Top of the leaderboard, someone named Iron Master's in first place.
I think he's bad at this game.
How'd that happen?
I don't know.
Followed by another coach that I've heard a few times, Mr. JJ Cash. Also 2-0, you guys preview for next week. Then third place, some Bretts. Kadachi, a.k.a. Pookie Pookie, in chat. Taking a win first week. And then we've got a couple of guys who are tied in 4th and 5th with the Norse and the Elven Union, but they're 101, so I'm not sure if they won this week or last week, so we'll have to take a look at that.
Both is the answer because they just face each other.
Okay. So interesting. Most of this week has been played, so we'll dive into the schedule. Everyone ignore this week too. We'll talk about that a little bit later, either later this weekend or next week. And let's take a look at week 1. First up, we had Los Barachos versus Ratty Day, which is... I'm still getting to learn all the teams.
JJ Cash, I believe.
Yep. Ratty Day is JJ Cash. Los Barachos is Bat Blood's High Elf. So that was a High Elf versus Skaven match. And let's see, take a look how that went.
And it looks like Ratty Day was just hit the elves good, and even killed one.
Killed an elf. That's always
which
it's always
is
kind of a
because
good
it's
thing.
An AV8 elf team, like no catchers. They generally should hold up better.
Just to give you a little WCW history, it may seem a little biased, but I always cheer for Dead Elves because Elves and Agi 4 teams have been dominating in the WCW. They are winning and going to the playoffs more than any other team. So I always cheer for the mid-range guys.
Okay, that works. But I'm just saying, I like High Elves, man. High Elves are kind of cool. They're like Pro Elves, but just different.
Yep.
Like Dark Elves and Wood Elves, sure, you can hate them. Just not the High Elves and Pro Elves.
Well,
okay.
I kind of like the Dark Elves a little, since that's what I play in Rebel, but not that much. Yeah, but looking here, that looks like kind of a straight up, little bit of a casualties, but looks like most everything was done on their own half. Ratty Day only getting the 1-0 there.
What, 5 passes?
But 5 passes. Getting that SPP in.
Yep. Los Brachos getting 2 in of their own, but just a 1-0.
Then we had this team that I bet you can tell us a little bit about this matchup. Mustard Lust versus Children of the Void, and the Vampires taking the 3-0 victory over Elves. How'd that go down?
You gotta remember, this is 5 vampires start, right? So I
Bold
only got
start.
5 vampires, 3 rerolls, no bench of thralls, no apothecary, and they just didn't eat their guys until way late in the half, and just Archangel got beat up, got the ball stolen. Hypnogaze was on fire. Even did was gonna try to touchdown, but I failed the bloodlust, so I passed it to a different vampire so he could go score.
That's amazing.
And just an unfortunate snake cost him the 3rd TD too.
That's an impressive start for a team. That really how many SPP were in this game? Let's see. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 SPP on one game. That's big gains.
Yeah. it was definitely a fun time because only like 7 landed on thralls, so most of my vampires are just like either leveled up or getting to level up soon.
Very nice, very nice. A little unfortunate for the Children of the Void there, but these vampires, I'm excited to see how they develop. I will have to take a peek at the team here in just a moment. Actually, let's do that now. Let's take a look at your team. Mustard Lust is right there. 1180 vampires after 1 or 2 games now, and you've got a block vamp and a dodge vamp.
Yeah, not much there, but all the bloat is just because I started at 11 and now I'm up to 14.
That's where you want to be as vampires, though, right? Like that's you've got the bench now to support the 5 vampires. I
definitely do, and I'm even thinking about just not taking the apothecary or the 4th reroll for a while.
Okay.
And just building up the cash reserve since it's at 0.
Yep.
And hope I don't fail a regen, but it's gonna be I'm gonna not get him hit. That's how this works, right? Don't die.
Absolutely. Just don't lose any vampires.
He'll save them.
You can lose these thralls. That's okay. But yeah.
Yeah, but I can't take the TV bloat past that point.
Yep.
I don't want to give wizards just because people were playing normally.
Right. All right. Then next up we had the Blue Blood versus Usavek's Red Boys. And it looks like Blue Blood took the 2-0 victory there. Taking a look at the stats, Usavek's threw all the blocks and only got 3 KOs for their trouble.
Yeah. It looks like just Bretonians were doing Bretonian things and getting the ball, using their skills, and maybe even a handoff.
Yep. One pass, 1 catch. But yeah.
There it is. Brett's doing Brett things, walking down the field. Now this next game, you're going to think it's just a normal 1-0. But this was the cost of a lifetime for a Norse team, where they had about both their runners permanently injured, so they had to be fired, and then even losing an extra lineman on top of that. Or an Ulf, sorry.
Oh, no.
So they paid the iron price for this 1-0 over here.
Man, that's brutal. 4 injuries inflicted, 1 kill inflicted, and they get the 1-0. Wow, that is damaging. How much of the SPP landed on living players, I wonder? Let's take a look at the Y fronts and see how they're doing at the moment.
They're kind of bouncing back. They just lost another guy after that match.
Well, they do have SPP on their guys, so it seems like the guys who got the majority of the SPP made it out the other side. Yeah, that's rough, though.
Yeah, he just really needs to save for the second Ulf again, and then a runner, and just have loners for a while.
So is that the play you save for the positionals? And because I know as an unskilled Norse coach, I would go, hey, I just need to buy these 50k linemen until I have 11 players.
Usually that's a good call, but I do the lineman for a bench, so he needs like the second Ulf because strength 4 is just needed on the team.
Right.
Because you get those guys. The runner is just because you're going to want quick dodge, so he's never a bad pickup. But if you want to skip him, you can, and you get up to like 13 people of just linemen.
Right.
Just slam him out so you can then replace people as they die.
Got it.
He's not making the cash he needs for it, so we'll have to see how it works.
All right. So, tough match for the Y-Front United. Wrongbeard's not getting the W, but getting the moral victory and getting the skill up on their runner. So, not too bad. I would say let's look at predictions, but we can only predict the Wrongbeards versus Blue Blood. So, this is the Bretonians versus Dwarfs. Do you want to take a stab at Bretonians versus Dwarfs?
Bretonians, man. Like, they got wrestle for a lot of the block, and then they got some nice skills just to deal with them and fend against the Berserkers. So they got a little bit of everything for them.
Yep, that's pretty fair. Not too much picked up. The runner picked up block on the dwarfs, so they're pretty much just the standard starting dwarf still. And Blue Blood, I think, picked up. What did we pick up? No, then nothing picked up there. So looks like I think they bought the apothecary. So that'll be.
And looking at the Blue Blood team, they organize it in a really cool way that just makes me like. It looks cool,
Yep.
but it's getting my nerves. It's just out of order.
Yep. I've seen a couple of teams that I just dislike looking at them because they do alter. This one's not so bad because at least it's a pattern. Lineman, blocker,
Yeah.
blitzer, blocker, lineman, blitzer. Wait, that's not the same. These need to switch. Oh, that bothers me. That bothers me a lot.
Wait, no, it's still the same pattern. It's
No, lineman,
fend
blocker,
first, then
blitzer,
wrestle next, then
wrestle,
you
then
see?
fend.
Just
then
look,
fend, then
all
wrestle.
the same skills are touching that way.
Oh, okay, I got it.
It's fend
I
to
got
fend, rest of the wrestle.
it. Got it.
There you
got
go.
it. Okay.
Now you're okay.
Yep. It's like a tile
saved
pattern.
this.
Yep. So I think that about wraps it up for the Weiss division. We'll revisit the rest of those week two things in the week 2 recap. So moving on, we go to our first skilled up division. Let's take a look at the leaderboard for Dillinger. First place right now, we've got a tie, three-way tie between Angry, RK Blaze, and Mr. True Blue, each with a win and a draw. Amazons, One Die Palmy, Chorfs and Chorfs with the Hellspawn Violators and Man Bear Horse. And then following them up, we have the Underworld team who can make a push for first place if Goblin Marine can take a win this week.
I'm hoping and praying for him.
Yep. He's got a sweet team. Have you looked at his team? We'll have to take a peek
Not
if
yet.
not. All right. Then we've got some Bretts, some Chaos, some more Bretts, and some Wood Elves. So Brett's being strangely popular in the WCW. So that's kind of an interesting thing that's coming up.
I think it's because everyone's wanting that change of pace, and Bretonians are always seen as that weird team that maybe you might want to take a crack at.
And they start with some cool skills. Like, you're not just unarmed to start. You have some wrestle, some fend, some block. So
One of the best TV 1000 teams out there.
Yep. So looking at week 1, first up we had Goblin Marines Maritime Marinated Meat versus the Sithral Wardens, and the Underworld took a 2-0 victory over the Elves here. And just taking a peek, it looks like I can kind of tell why. 5 KOs, 4 injuries. I think their Claw Mighty Blow was firing.
Yeah, it wasn't even a high amount of blocks. It was just enough where it's like they got 9 removals out of 28 blocks.
Yep.
It's just hard to come back from that.
Yep.
Because I would normally say like Underworld have a struggle in this one where they don't have a lot of tackle ready, and you just got a lot of Blodge Elves with Wood Elves that are fast and can deal with you particularly well. But just the removal game was hot.
Yep. Right now, Goblin Marine only running, like you say, they've only got they've got 2 tackle pieces. They've got a Skaven lineman with tackle, and they've got the really amazing Snillich, who is the block Mighty Blow Claw piling on tackle horns blitzer. So that guy's a nightmare to deal with.
What a guy. That's pretty nasty, and I like it.
Yep. He is movement busted, so
Kind of a shame he didn't get jump up with instead of horns. But can't get everything.
Can those blitzers take agility skills, or does it take a double?
If you get doubles, yeah.
Interesting. Next up, Gold Blood Knights. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna note that he actually has another blitzer level in the works, so it could be more tackle, could be more claw, could just be piled on.
Let's take a look. What does he got? Teams.
Only got Mighty Blow right now.
Mighty Blow. I bet he picks up more claw in this division, because if you look at,
There's Chorfs, so you definitely need some claw.
there's Chorfs, and then what else do we got? Chorfs, Chaos.
And Bretonians.
Bretonians have some armor 8. Maybe not, because we do have Wood Elves and
You already went against
Amazons.
Wood Elves, so we can't really count
okay.
them in.
Yeah, so you've got Amazons, their armor 7. It works against everything else, though.
Yeah, I would definitely take claw here. It's very worthwhile.
His next matchup is Barovian Knights, which is Bretonians. All right. So looking back at the next matchup on week 1, Gold Blood Knights versus One Die Palmy, Amazon's taking the 2-0 victory over the Bretonians.
Now that's a little unexpected since Bretonians are kind of the team that's like notorious for just having the skills for the occasion.
Mm-hmm.
Quick to get tackle, quick to get guard, quick to get like more wrestle pieces and foul you.
Yeah, not just tackle, but probably some like wrestle tackle or something like that, which can take down those hard to pin Amazons. Looking at the team, only one tackle on the team at the moment, but did have 4 wrestlers and a tackle piece and a frenzy piece. Yeah, has an Agi 4 blitzer, which is always handy to have.
Yeah, I think it's just one of those things where you got to spam some more tackle on here. Not unlike your blockers, but just on those blitzers. And then once you get a ton of guard on your blockers, you take like 1 tackle more.
Right.
Just because you can never have enough tackle.
Right.
And especially with the Agi teams around.
Yep, I absolutely agree.
Not this div as much, but just Agi are prevalent.
Yep, absolutely. So, yep, the Amazon's sneaking away with that one. And Amazon's kind of a slow team too. Lots of SPP picked up, no passes. So yeah, that's all damage and those 4 injuries inflicted. So yeah, good job.
That's the wrong Bretts. Oh no, it was the Gold Blood Knights. What are we looking at?
Oops. Yep, I was looking at the wrong one. Let's look at the. See, there's too many Bretts. I just look at the first. At the first Bretts I find.
I was.
These are the Bretts that we played.
Needs more tackle.
Yeah, there's only one tackle piece here. Oh, this is the strength up Bretts. So, yeah.
And diving tackle on their lineman.
And a dirty player. Love dirty players.
Love the dirty player, but diving tackle's a weird choice on that lineman there. Usually that's where you see more guard.
Yep. Yeah. On a double, I would expect guard there, but yeah.
But you know what needs to happen is that these blitzers just need 1 pass each. You got to do it at one point.
Yep.
To start throwing those vanities.
Yep.
And getting them skills.
I would stick both of these in the backfield the next defensive drive I have and just pass.
Mm-hmm. Pretty sure you meant offensive, but I get you.
Oh yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah. Oh, all right. Diving on down to the next one, Hellspawn Violators versus the Barovian Knights. The Hellspawn Violators taking the 2-0 victory, and 16 armor breaks is the first thing I'm seeing here. We had 5 injuries and 3 KOs. I think I know the story of this game.
Yeah, that's not a fun story. And we need to bully True Blue out of short. Oh, sorry. What a sneeze.
Just to remind everyone, because we're about to talk about Man Bear Horse, there are chuck points on the line. Every True Blue Chorf killed earns chuck points.
Ooh, I love it. How many chuck points are we getting for like base to our max?
I'm basically saying 100 chuck points per positional plus 100 chuck points for every level. That's my going rate, and we're working on the redemption program.
I just realized I think I got the wrong one here. Man, Bear Horse is the one I was gunning for. So Hellspawn Violators, still mean, but
Yep. Yeah. Hellspawn. Oh yeah. Hellspawn Violators. RK Blaze's team taking out a bunch of guys. I think the True Blues game was not quite as 3 injuries, but a kill. Again, Riazi picked up the kill on this one. So yes, now my memory is being jogged. So in the Man Bear Horse versus Riazi's Ravagers, I believe I awarded 350 chuck points for this matchup to Riazi, doing a good job taking out some Chorfs. And yeah,
see, I think I found out how to irritate True Blue there. We just get everything wrong.
Absolutely. Well, we have too many. We need to do a better job of randomizing these guys, because we're gonna have the same matchups over and over. We've got Chorfs, Bretts. Like this is too much repetition.
I think we need to have more people reroll into elves, and then we'll be all set.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
That's how this works, right?
Yeah, for sure. Well, I'm pretty sure that Man Bear Horse will be re-rolling into next season, because True Blue, every time he takes a team into the main season, that team gets obliterated, and I think we're starting down that path already.
It seems about right.
Yep. So, did we have anything else to cover on Dillinger? Let's see. We have two matches we can call. We have the Maritime Marinated Meat versus the Barovian Knights. So that's the Underworld versus Bretonians. Who do you want to call for that one?
I want to say Underworld because both Bretonian teams only had one tackle.
Yep. And I'm a fan of this Maritime Marinated Meat for a tiny bit of WCW history on this. This was a Capone team last season that just lost all of its positionals except for the one killer blitzer, and took a demotion down to Dillinger from the Capone division.
I was wondering why some of the pieces were a bit supercharged and others weren't.
Yeah. So this was... he just lost every piece except for like the one supercharged piece. And when you look at his team, I think Goblin Marine quoted a stat earlier. More than half of his entire team's SPP is on 2 pieces.
That would make sense.
Yep. So that team doing a bit of a rebuild this season, and looking to see him back in Capone next season, hopefully. And
apparently suffering 10 deaths overall and probably tons of perms.
Yeah. And then the other matchup we can call is the Sithirol Wardens versus Riazi's Ravagers, which is Wood Elves versus Chaos. And
I think the Wood Elves are going to bounce back with the Sithirol Wardens, even though they're not the strongest lineup in that they have everything you want. They're missing a tree, but I mean they got Strip Ball. And they got a movement dancer. They got tackle and mighty blow.
Yep.
They got some guard. They got some wrestle. They're elves.
Yep.
They're playing it fast and loose.
This team has the makings of, if it can just earn some money and get some more players on the bench, of being a really good team. Like, those 2 dancers are really good dancers.
Yep. And the Chaos team is missing sure hands on it.
So Strip Ball
went for the full kill.
Strip Ball can do some work this game.
Yep.
Yeah, I think I would go
take a look at the Chaos team.
Let's take a look. Riazi's Ravagers, 1160 Chaos. We got a Minotaur in the house. It looks like, wow, this team took some damage here recently. Minotaur is missed next game, or is it? Oh no, it's AV busted.
That's AV busted.
That may not be a live Minotaur any longer.
I think I would keep it for a little bit longer, knowing that there's Torvs around. You can't drop your only claw.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. Especially in this division with the Chorfs. This probably at least lasts that long. And versus the Chorfs, the Armor 7 doesn't matter anyways.
Yeah. Granted, Chorfs did it to him, so...
Yep.
There's still more.
Yep. Agility busted Guard Beastman, you keep him. Agility busted regular Beastman, you probably fire him once you get the bench.
He's going to want the bench soon.
Yeah, he goes on the line until you have some replacements done.
Yeah. Apparently the cash inflow is not good for these teams that aren't Chorfs.
Yep. Chorfs make it hard. Like, these are small divisions, and 2 Chorfs means they're a large portion of your season. And with a Chaos team floating around out there, like, there's going to be Chaos and Underworld. We really have 4 very killy teams in this division, so I think it's gonna be a tough one.
Yep. But you know what I want to see?
What's that?
I want to see a tie out of Scyther Wardens and the Razzie Ravagers. They have a fun time.
Yep.
And instead of breaking the all ones here, I want the Maritime Marinated Meat to get a 2-1 over the Bavarian Knights.
Okay.
Mostly because then they get to the top of the leaderboard and it's all good.
Yeah, absolutely. That would send them straight to the top. And yeah, actually a win for the Underworld team sends them to the top no matter what. So big game to take an early lead in the season if Goblin Marine can pull it off there. All right. Diving into Capone. We've got some draws in this division. So first place right now is Golgothan's Rats with a 1-1 record, followed by the firstborn of Arda with a 1-1 record. I've drawn twice with my Lizardmen. Can't seem to get the W. And S Hunter's Aerial Assault has drawn twice. And then we've got a couple of teams who have also drawn, and then Boba and Lawcrest getting a little unlucky in their matchups there. But
it's okay. They're both going to bounce back with some more draws.
Yeah, absolutely. This I'm wondering how this is going to look at the end of the season when we get to the playoff race, and we had so many draws early on. It's going to be a very strange playoffs.
Yeah, and one of the interesting things to note here is just usually it's better to take like a win, like a high chance at winning and giving a good chance at losing, than going for like a straight draw record, unless you're like taking draws and wins only.
Right. Yeah.
Because the 3 points is weighted really heavy.
Yes.
Good. While the 1 is just very minuscule.
Yep.
For you.
Absolutely. So it looks like we've had a couple of shootout games. At least I know there's been a couple. This first one here, I believe, was just a straight up shootout that went to a 2-2. So Who Wants a Woody versus Aerial Assault? 2-2 game. Looking at the statistics, there were some passes, not a lot of punching, although we did have a couple of injuries inflicted by the Aerial Assault team. It really
I'm
looks
pretty
like...
sure that's just a normal elf game where everyone's trying to get the ball, and when they get the ball, they try snapping it out and scoring.
Yep.
And then just 2 turns after that, and that's just how the game goes.
Yep. That's absolutely what this looks like. They did their normal elf things, and both of them were able to convert. So that's how that went down. Then we had Skinky and We Know It versus Orc Me Harder, and I can tell the story of this, and it will sound like I'm whining, so I won't. We did get a MVP on a skink, who then went into my second Agi 4 skink, so that was a great outcome of this game. I did come into the season with an MNG Saurus. And on the first play of the game, I had a Saurus take a punch on the line and get injured. So starting off, I'm just outstrengthed by this orc team.
Yeah, that's kind of what orcs do. Just I'm pretty sure it's like they go for your Saurus, dirty player them, and if they ever get that advantage, they're just so hard to deal with because they have strength 4 of their own. And if they tie you up, you're done.
Yep. And that was more or less the story of the game. Once they were able to tie me up and push me around the field, I did what I could with my little skinks running around, and this is where we ended up with a 1-1 draw.
Not too bad when you're down 2 Saurus.
No, not too bad. Not too bad at all. And then we had the Scourge of Saltspire versus Boba's Bounty Hunters. Golgothan pulling off the 2-1 victory. Golgothan's a great Skaven coach. He's a Skaven specialist and does really well with what he does. And it looks like we were getting only KOs from Boba's Bounty Hunters here. Although I do know one of these injuries inflicted was an MNG on Golgothan's claw piece that saved me this game that I just played.
I mean, he's got 9 blocks for this game for the 2-1. So it sounds like there's a natural 1-turner involved on this story.
Yeah, no natural 1-turner on the team. He had to do some pushes for that 1-turning. But we can take a peek.
Man, that means that's 7 blocks overall in the game, besides the 1-turn, at least.
Yep.
Disgusting.
And wow, that's a low amount of blocks. That's like he wasn't blitzing most turns. I'm wondering what happened there with a low number of removals. Or I guess there were a bunch of KOs, so that's probably what happened. Half his team got KO'd, and he just spent the entire time running around.
Yeah, it was dodge, basically save for the 1-turn after he got the quick score.
Yep.
That had to be how it happened.
Had to be how that one went down. Finally, Firstborn of Arda versus Team Happy Orcs. Firstborn of Arda taking the 1-0 victory. If I remember right, he took something of a beating this game. Yeah, 2 kills inflicted by the Happy Orcs and 3 injuries. This team got hurt pretty bad.
Here's hoping it's only the line elves, you know?
Yep. This is and if you haven't seen, this is the other vampire team in the league.
Oh, I haven't just yet.
Yeah, so let's take a look at Firstborn of Arda. I believe he still has his 2 vampires on the roster. Yeah, there was a... It was either another Agi-Up player that died. I believe it was another Agi-Up player that died.
Yeah, I could see that. Just this is such a stacked team of just stats, but
yeah,
it's really running low on players.
This team kind of got put in an unfortunate scenario where Valk played. This is his second season with this team. Last season, he rolled these amazing stat ups in the rookie division, and played this team all the way to the finals of season 6, and didn't quite get there in the finals, but still had a healthy team coming into the start of this season, or a fairly healthy team. He may have been on 9 players or something, but it wasn't too bad, right? Like pick up a couple of linemen, you're good. Then game 1 of this season took a beating, and I'm not sure has he played game 2 yet? He has played game 2. Spoilers, I just want to take a look. I think he may have lost. Yeah, another player was killed in that game and some more injuries. So
that was a loner. It doesn't count.
Oh, okay.
He got the MVP, so that loner MVP. Who cares?
Right. But yeah, that team he belongs in Capone. He went to the finals last season, so obviously he earned his spot here. But then just immediately took a pounding, so I feel for him a little bit.
Balk would like you guys to shout out the fresh team reroll. I mean, honestly, this team still has every component you need to win.
Yeah.
You got the BS catcher, and you got 2 fine blitzers, and then some good linemen. He just needs an extra catcher just to be the one that goes and gets the ball afterwards and score.
Yeah, and these strength up linemen are one of them is just a touchdown away from getting his level up and picking up block or dodge or one of those skills that's going to make him much more survivable, and that's when this team could still develop into just an absolute terror with just a few skills. So I'm looking to see him. Hopefully he does have 110K in the bank, so he could start looking at picking up additional players. I don't know if he's saving for more positionals or which way.
Catches are 90K, so I think he's just waiting.
Just waiting and seeing.
Apparently, it was round robin, not reroll, and 2-minute turns.
Yep.
So I'm not exactly sure about that or what's going on there. Do you know more, Big Chuck?
Yeah, there is a fresh team competition that's just started up, and one of the traditions of the WCW is we run some side competitions so that you can get a team going for next season. So yes, we have a round robin competition right now that we're taking signups for. It's 2-minute turns, fresh TV 1000 teams, and once we get enough teams signed up, we'll fire that off. And that team will be eligible to enter into Season 8 next season. So we encourage anyone who wants additional league games to get into one of our side competitions and start leveling that team for next season. That way you don't have to enter one of the fresh divisions. You can dive right into Dillinger or possibly even Capone if you develop a team to that point. So yeah. All right.
So if you're missing out, go and join there.
Absolutely. Any other thoughts or anything else you'd like to talk about, Mr. Ironmaster?
I think Orc Me Harder versus Team of Happy Orcs needs to be confirmed. Or maybe reset. I'm not sure, but I just saw it there.
Oh, interesting. I don't know. We will have to ask them about that because I'm not sure why that one is the way it is. We'll check into that. We got one other game to be played there. Continuing our strong tradition of draws in Capone, so we'll see how that continues.
Capone needs to get more draws. Sorry, that wasn't Capone, was it?
Yeah, This is Capone.
This is the one. Yeah, this one needs to get more draws, and there needs to be more vamps for next season.
Yep.
And they need to be 5 vamp starts because that's obviously how you do well.
Hey, right now, if you're interested in joining our side competition, do a 5 vamp. You know what? I may do that. I think I'll do that. I'll roll a 5 vamp team into our reroll competition. That said, anyone who wants to join that competition and kill all my thralls, you're welcome to come do so.
Yeah, I know, right? But the good news is you're not even sad. You're like, oh, I get some like loners to chew on, and then I buy more.
Yeah, absolutely. Why not?
And,
And,
so I mean, good trade there.
One of the guys on the hit list about to get another skill. So someone come foul this guy. All right. I think that's all for this week. Thank you, Iron Master, for coming on, and we'll see you next week, guys.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me, and everyone, I'll see you later.